So, one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life is to stop forcing anything, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be a friendship, or even love. You don't want to get in a habit of forcing things to happen, of trying to control every situation, every detail in your life. When you begin to force things, force control, force certain situations to happen, you begin to live your life out of alignment with your purpose and the flow and the peace of your life. Now, I've seen it time and time again with clients and women that I help and coach, where let's say they're in a relationship and that other person wants out of the relationship, whether it's going through a divorce or a separation or a breakup, and they don't want to end the relationship, which is understandable, right? They don't want to end the relationship, but the other person wants to leave. Instead of making peace, going through the process of healing, getting over the hurt and pain, they try to force or control the outcome and make that person stay or choose them or fight for them when that's not going to happen all the time. Everyone is not going to fight for you. Everyone is not going to be there through thick and thin, even if you want them to, even if you want it to work, even if you want the relationship, the situation, the marriage, the friendship to work, it's best for you not to force it. It's best for you to allow things to be as they are. And I've heard it time and time again. And people say, oh, you got to fight for it. You got to fight. You got to fight. Listen, when it comes to fighting for something that is out of alignment, if that person wants to end the relationship and you begin to fight for that relationship and you begin to do all you can and try to convince them to stay and love you, understand what that does to you mentally. Understand the exhaustion that creates in your life. Understand how it takes you to a deep, dark place of where you can feel defeated. And not only defeated, but it can lead to depression, to exhaustion, because you are fighting against what is. And one of the things about life, and one of the things about the challenges and the changes of life, is you got to be ready to handle what comes up against you. And whether it's ending a relationship or a situation or whatever, you have to learn to make peace with that situation in order for you to grow. Listen, if you don't make peace, you'll find yourself stuck in situations that are not favorable for you. You'll find yourself stuck and weak in a place that is not healthy for you. And so what happens is you begin to decline and have the depression and the stress, and you feel worse and worse and worse about yourself because all you can think about is what you don't want and fighting against that. When instead of putting your energy, your time, your heart into fighting for something or someone who wants to leave you, focus on fighting for yourself. Focus on building yourself up, nurturing yourself, healing yourself, getting yourself to a place of strength and peace and power where you are no longer striving and forcing something to happen that isn't aligned with peace. It's focused on force, it's focused on control, and that is not healthy. When people walk away from you, let them go. Let them go. Bless them. Release them. Don't try to talk them out of it. Oh, I'm going to talk him. I'm going to help. I'm going to pray that they not do this. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get some help. I'm going to try. I'm going to strive and force them and fight for them. Let them go. Let them go. Because what happens is if it's really meant, if that relationship is meant, if you are the person for them and they're for you don't have to force or fight it. You don't have to try to control it. You don't have to try to make them stay. If they are for you, they're going to be for you. And there's something more powerful, and it's something that you can't do or say or try to keep them there. But when you release them, when you surrender them, when you allow God to be in control, when you allow things to be as they should be, you begin to open up opportunities for yourself that you didn't even know were there. A lot of times when you let them go, if they want to walk away from you and you let them go, you are making room for an even greater relationship or even greater opportunity to come your way, because you're not trying to force or control something that is out of your control. Because here's the thing, you can't control another person. So let them go. And you got to stop devaluing yourself because they didn't value you. Just because that person didn't value who you were in the relationship, or they didn't value you as a person, so you begin to devalue yourself. No, your value has nothing to do with what another person thinks about you. Your value comes from within. It's when you align with who you are, who God says you are, when you align with the power and purpose that is within you, you begin to unfold, and your value and your worth and your purpose is revealed. And you don't have to go chasing after that from another person or another opportunity or another situation or another job or another business or a career. But you know that your value is within. And that as you make peace with who you are and you show up as the valuable, powerful person that you are, you don't have to explain anything to anyone. You don't have to convince anything to anyone, because you know your value is within. And a lot of times when relationships end and situations don't work out, you often think, well, maybe it's something with me. Maybe I need to change, or maybe I just need closure, right? You think that you need closure. You need to rekindle the relationship, or you need to talk to the person, you need an apology, and you can't move on without closure. And let's say the person doesn't give you closure, and you're so stressed out and you're so worried and you're so depressed because you never got closure. But here's the thing, sometimes the only closure you need is understanding that you deserve better. The only closure you need is understanding your self worth, is understanding that you have true purpose, is understanding that you can move forward without the closure of that person or that individual, that you don't have to talk to them or get that apology in order to move on, but you can make the closure within yourself. So, understanding your worth, understanding what you deserve, is going to give you the closure you're seeking. Because here's the truth that you got to understand when people walk away in your life. Sometimes God is making space for something even greater. And you got to understand that when they are leaving, when they go, when situations change or opportunities don't work out, God is making space for greater. God is making space for you to thrive, for you to grow, for you to excel. And so understanding that this is an opportunity for you to go to the next level, that you don't need to fight and strive. Now, of course, you're going to be sad. Of course, you're going to have grief and you're going to mourn that situation or the breakup or the divorce or whatever. It's not going to be an easy opportunity for you to just rejoice, because it's a situation or a relationship that you once wanted. But you got to understand that when people walk away from you, you got to let them go. You got to stop trying to force things to happen that are out of your control. You can't control another person. And God has so much greater for you. There are opportunities unfolding for you. God is making space for you. So understand this. And as you understand this, you can make peace with who you are and what God is calling you to. I want you to understand this. You are not hard to love. You're not hard to love. God has greater for you. God wants to do great things in your life. And you don't have to force anything to happen, or you don't have to force a situation. You don't have to force a conversation. You don't have to force a relationship, a friendship. You can make peace with what is. You can walk in grace and live and thrive in the blessings that God has for you. And notice this, anything you chase is not love, it's a lesson. It's a lesson for you to learn. It's a lesson for you to grow and to thrive. So don't take it for granted. Learn the lesson, but understand that is not love, because you don't have to chase what's love. So you want to let it go and allow what's for you to flow right into your life with grace and peace. And I just want to encourage you, for anyone that is going through a tough time. Maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you're going through a divorce. You don't know what to do. Maybe you have a story that you want to share, and you need some advice. I want to encourage you to reach out to me, because I am willing to share advice based off of your specific situation. I know it's not easy, especially when you are dealing with a relationship that you really love, you had a vision for, and maybe it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to work out. I just want to encourage you to not give up on yourself, because a lot of times you may be tempted to fight and force that situation to work in a certain way, but it may not be for you to do that. It may be for you to surrender it, for you to let it go, for you to allow it, for you to build the courage and step out on faith and know that God has you, even if you fall. It's okay and you're not alone. So if you want some relationship advice, you want to share your story, go to RainieHoward.com, and I would love to answer your questions and give you some advice for moving forward. But I want to thank you all for tuning in to the show, and be sure to share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. It's so important that we know when it's time to release something that is not for us. But thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode.